And what do you know? I have just been told the incentive has been met. I hope you're ready for that, Driz Solo. We've got $50 from the Dom that says, Driz Solo, I love jazz. Let's do it. And with that, I think we're ready for the run. Are you guys ready for the run? Well, give it up for Seriously Surly with Baldur's Gate, Legend of Ball.
Hey everyone, Seriously Surly here. So today we're playing Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition on the Legacy of Ball difficulty. So what this is the hardest difficulty in the game. Everything is just ramped up to 11. Everything has 3 times its health plus 80 just for good measure. Improved chance to hit, improved reflexes. Everything's just super hard. So I'm going to go through the character creation a little bit here just to kind of explain what's going on. So we're choosing a half-elf for 2 reasons. 1, only 2 classes can be a bard, or 2 races can be a bard. And 2, it gives us a little bit of extra pickpocket that we need later. That's it. The class we're picking is a Bard Blade, very specifically for an ability known as Offensive Spin. This allows us to double our movement speed throughout most of the early parts of the run. For our abilities, we don't need anything too special. Anything like 83 will do. We need 15 strength, 18 charisma, and then the rest of this is just extra stats. It makes me feel good. We don't care what weapons we use. We don't use them at all. Find my orange. There it is. So pretty. All right, and I believe, correct me if I was wrong there, Tai, Baldur won the naming incentive.
That's what I see.
Perfect. Thank you, French Restream. You've done good. All right.
And maybe I should introduce myself quick. I'm Tai. I will be DMing this session of Baldur's Gate for Seriously Surly. A pretty exciting campaign coming up, so hopefully we follow all of the lore and take every one of the necessary steps throughout the story.
I plan to roleplay this exactly as my chaotic neutral character would. So time is going to start when I hit done here. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so you find yourself in Candlekeep, and your longtime mentor, Gorion, would like to have a little discussion with you. And he is located in the center of Candlekeep.
Cool, I'm going to go talk to him.
Yeah, so he said, oh.
No, we're skipping ahead.
Okay, Gorion's dead, but your friend Imoen would like to speak with you, and she would like to come with you.
That's cool. I'm going to take all of her stuff and leave her behind.
Okay. On the horizon, you see a couple of shifty characters that look like they want to talk with you as well.
What do they have? Anything interesting?
They have some potions, some leather armor, I guess. Oh, okay.
I'm going to take their stuff. I'm going to kick everyone from the party now. I want to do this one solo.
All right. I'm giving up on DMing this campaign. You do your own thing.
Absolutely. So what's going on here? What am I up to?
Well, we are, in order to get to the end of the story, we need to hit all of the chapter triggers, and we're going to try to do that as fast as we can just by running to the events that trigger the end of the chapters. On his way, you're going to see Surly pick up some rings out of some rocks, because in this game, there's a lot of amazing magical items just laying about, and we're going to be using some of them. We're going to be using the rest of them for money in order to get all of the items we need to get through the campaign. In addition, I'm going to talk a little bit about random encounters here. As Surly quick travels between locations in the game, you're going to see there's some travel time, and every 8 hours of travel time equates to a random encounter chance, as well as every time he sleeps. And he's going to be resting a lot to refresh the offensive spin throughout the first half of the run so he can run fast. And we want to try to avoid as many of those random encounters as we can. And if there are some random encounters that are particularly dangerous to us as well, that we want to try to avoid. Here we're going to go into a cave called Ankh Cave. There is a wand in here and some other saleable things, and it's really dangerous to run through here because this is supposed to be quite a bit later into your playthrough, so he's going to run through here and hopefully he doesn't die as we make it to this pile of loot. There we go, we made it in. Gonna grab everything out of there. There's a wand of fire, like I said, that's gonna be one of our damage sources. And then we're just gonna try to run out of here without dying and cross our fingers.
At once.
Perfect. And we're gonna go for our first shopping trip here now in High Hedge because we need to grab a few things for the first leg of the journey. And once we get to High Hedge for shopping, I'm gonna let Surly take over and talk about what he's buying.
Sure. So unfortunately I have Bones 2 here. So there's 2 skeletons that can spawn, Bones 1 and Bones 2. Bones 2 is going to follow us in, is going to make the run out a little tricky, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Oh, I'm going to identify everything that I picked up, that Ankeg cave, as well as those rings. I'm going to sell off the rings and everything else. And pick up 2 potions of explosion, because bottled fireballs are amazing. Potion magic blocking for something later. Some identify for a wand, shield for my happiness, mirror image because I can, and some invisibility to help make everything easy. Out.
Perfect. So he's gonna unlock a couple of maps for some quick travel chains later. You kind of have to chain the quick traveling between locations. That's kind of how they gated some of the travel in this game. And then we're gonna be off to Nashville in order to work on Chapter 2. Well, Chapter 1 and 2, I suppose. And in order to get there the safest, there's a dude here who's kind of cursed by a sword that, oh, got another random encounter you can see there and just run off the screen. There's a dude who's been cursed by a sword, and while we don't really have to save him, saving him teleports us straight to Nashville without any random encounter chances, which is kind of nice. And we're magically in Nashville.
And we're magically in Chapter 2.
Yep, that is the end of Chapter 1. Just getting here is kind of the end there, and we're going to go work on
Hi,
Chapter
Minx.
2.
Bye, Boo.
Good call out to a fan favorite character. Before we head into Nashville Mines, you're going to see him go over to this tree, and there is a Wand of Frost, spoiler alert, in that tree. Just another one of the really great magical items that's strewn about. And this is really handy that it's just here because it's going to be how we're going to finish Chapter 2, being that we're pretty low level. We don't have a lot of options for damage, so pretty nice that that's just sitting there for us. And Surly's going to convince the mine owner that he's definitely going to clear out the mine and help with all this evil stuff, but...
Definitely.
Yeah, you're
Totally
going to
gonna
see
do
him go invisible here and just run by everything because clearing it out's pretty slow and we want to go as fast as we can. So I'm going to take some time here just to call out the other main mechanic that we're going to be using for the speedrun. This is a Dungeons & Dragons game, so it does run on 6-second rounds, and for those of you who may not know, that means you're gated to performing another action by waiting till the end of that 6-second round. We can bypass that by quick saving and quick loading. So you're going to see him quick save and quick load a lot when we get into some combat situations. It just means that he can take an action, quick save, quick load, and take another action immediately instead of waiting 6 seconds, so we can go a little faster.
Kill me.
Yep, we're a little afraid of some traps that we're running over, so you're going to see him with that mirror image trying to tank some of those traps if they hit him. The other advantage that quick saving and quick loading between rounds does, our damage numbers are pretty tight with our limited resources on the wand charges, so being able to save after every wand charge and pay attention to the numbers on the wand allows us to make sure that we can do enough damage with the limited charges we have. All right, so this is Mullahay. He is the leader of the mine and the big baddie of Chapter 2. You're going to see Surly casting a lot of our Wand of Frost at him, and we're looking for like 23 to 24 on average on this Wand of Frost.
He is saving today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We do have some AI manipulation here that's going to keep him mostly friendly for most of this fight. Makes the fight a little bit safer, because we want to kind of burst him down before he summons a bunch of ads. And
That's a minimum roll. Love it.
good old marathon rolls. Yeah, so we're going to finish this off with the Wand of Fire, because the Wand of Frost can actually freeze people, which would be fine, except it freezes some of their gear with them, and we need some of that gear to sell for our next upcoming shopping trips. And just kind of waiting for the fight to be over.
3 wand charges. Heck yeah. Never done that before. Had to happen. Glad it happened early.
All right, so we're going to pick up some loot, and we're going to run out the backside of this cave to end Chapter 2, but the backside of this cave is actually more dangerous than the fight that we just did. You're going to see him cast that mirror image again, because it might not look like it, but those kobolds, oh yeah, see, just chunk you out right there. And then we have some slimes at the end here that are scary as well, so we're just kind of crossing our fingers on the way out of here.
$5 a death?
At once.
Perfect.
$50 if I can do it without a death.
Hey, I'll match that.
All right,
that's the end of Chapter 2. And we are going to take a pit stop in this tomb here for a Wand of Summoning that we're going to use much, much later. But since we're here, we may as well just grab it. You're going to see some ghasts in this cave. It's another one of the pretty dangerous. Run as fast as we can, cross our fingers. There's the wand, and if they're nice, they'll let us out. Awesome. Made it out of there. At this point in the story, there's some lore reasons for it, but we're gonna go join some bandits. And we're not gonna stick with them for very long, but it's kind of fun going and joining the bandits.
It is. We're just taking a nice safe rest here. This is a long, arduous journey and can often go wrong. Or we can just get there in one shot, you know.
Absolutely no random encounters. So this is where the 15 strength check comes in. Gives you a dialogue option to convince them that you are a bloodthirsty killer, and you're definitely going to be useful to the bandits.
A great
And
bandit.
they let you right in. You're very scary.
At once.
But because we want to go fast and we don't want to mess around with the bandits, the trigger to end this chapter is getting some stuff out of the chest in the main bandit tent. And we can just run in and get that. You're going to see him use a potion of absorption because there's a lightning trap on the chest. He's just going to run in here and grab that chest, and as long as he runs in a circle, you can see an NPC following him, trying desperately to talk to him. We outrun him so he doesn't talk to us, and the bandits aren't even mad that we stole their stuff. And as soon as we exit this map, we are done with Chapter 3.
You know, for a bard, we're not very talkative.
Absolutely not. Surly's gonna be running to the Cloakwood Mine. It's a bunch of maps in a row, so this is a great time for some donations if you have any. Oh, we're actually gonna do a quick shopping trip, just to recharge our Wand of Frost, but nothing much else there. So go ahead if you have any donations.
And you know we've got donations. Actually, while you guys have been doing this run, we met the donation incentive to change the difficulty on the Simpsons arcade game. Because we had a $500 donation from Dumple that says, "Hidely ho, neighborinos! You're doing big in the donation counter for the Simpsons arcade. Here's hoping for a perfectly cromulent run."
That's dark.
And we got a few maps to run through, so you got time.
Cool beans. We got $100 from Anonymous that says, "Simpsons is one of my favorite arcade fighters. Great childhood memories." So here's a donation to the expert difficulty. We have a $25 donation from Fena Hana. That's a heck of a name. It says, "Seriously, Surly, the Day Knights are proud to know you and see you up there doing amazing things." Seriously, great job on the run so far. We've got a $50 donation from Maddie Finfin that says, "Drizzt is the worst and I despise him."
Yeah, it's been a great run so far. We've had pretty good luck for the most part.
Joy of dice rollers.
Absolutely. As we come up on the Cloakwood Mine here, there is our next speed tech on the dude outside of the mine. His name is Drasus, and we're going to use some of the really great mechanics from Baldur's Gate to take him out without even looking at him. So you're going to see Surly blast the Fog of War with a bunch of fireballs here. And And for whatever reason in Baldur's Gate, if they're in the fog of war, they just kind of stand in it and don't try to aggro, don't try to look around. They're not too worried about a bunch of fireballs. Drasus does have, like Surly said, a crazy amount of health in this difficulty, so our damage is super tight. He's looking for like mid-20s to low 30s on his fireball rolls, and fireball does 66 damage, which if you remember from your probability classes, averages out to 21 per roll. So we're going to be taking advantage of the quick save and quick load feature to make sure that we throw away any low rolls and just keep the higher rolls. And
Okay.
yeah, once he goes down, we're gonna, like I said, get our next speed tech, which is the Boots of Speed, and that's gonna make our offensive spin obsolete. They don't stack, which is unfortunate, but the Boots of Speed are up all the time, and they also stack with the Oil of Speed. So once we get this guy down, there he goes. You're gonna see Surly put those boots on, and we're gonna run really fast. Alright, so this is going to look pretty familiar. We were in the Nashkel mines, now we're going into the Cloakwood mines, and we're going to be running past everything invisible because taking care of everything in here is very slow.
Very slow. Oop.
Oh, the traps
Trap.
are going to always hit you even if you're invisible. Well, they're always going to go off in here even if you're invisible, so we just kind of have to hope we don't die to the traps.
Nailed it.
And coming up, we're going to be looking for an invisible door in the wall. It can be kind of annoying because it's kind of akin to like a perception check. It sort of ticks every round, so we can do some quick save and quick load to try to, oh, and that's just immediate. Sometimes you can stand there for quite a while looking for, you might not have even seen it, the purple outline of the door you found. This is our next fight. This is Daviorn, or as he's lovingly referred to as Dave. We're gonna blast him with like 13 Wand of Frost charges. And again, we're gonna take advantage of some AI stuff to shoot him with our wand and then run around the corner out of sight. And he's gonna be stuck in this loop of trying to cast spells, taking damage, and then just kind of standing in it. And again, we're gonna hope that we don't freeze him. If we freeze him, we're gonna have to load and kind of thaw him out with that Wand of Fire. But it's a pretty easy fight, just kind of execution and waiting for his HP to go down.
Should go in the next one. See if we get lucky. Now it's a little off. Hey, good boy.
Hey, and that is the end of Chapter 4. And we are going to be making our way to the titular city of Baldur's Gate. And at this point, we have another about 45 seconds or a minute of donation time.
And boy, do we got some donations. We got $100 from Lonnie2K1 that says, I played Baldur's Gate almost 20 years ago. And to be honest, I cannot remember too much, but I imagine it took me a little longer to beat the game. We also had a $700 donation from Steven245 that says, let's see this Drizzt fight.
Nice. Thank you.
At once.
You're very welcome.
All right, so we're coming up to Baldur's Gate over this long bridge here. And there's a dude outside front. His name's Scar. He wants us to investigate the city, but do we have time for that?
I am neither inclined nor have the time for it.
So we're just gonna turn him down. Thanks anyway. We're really just here to shop. Well, that's not true. We got a little bit more to do, but we're gonna do our third and final shopping trip here. And we'll let Surly blast through that shopping trip.
Yeah, so this is our last potion restock. We're going to sell off those robes we picked up from Dave. One of them is the Robe of the Evil Archmagi, worth a ton of money. So we'll pick up our potions of Invis, because those have been handy so far. Potion of Speed, Master Thievery, because we're going to do a little bit of pickpocketing, a little bit of everything. So Buoyance, Magic Blocking, then Slow. Way down here for some haste, chaos, and greater religion. inventory, and then we're going to wander off and go talk to Scar again.
Yeah, so we actually do need to do the investigation to progress through the storyline. It's just faster to tell him no and then do it. And this is where the 18 charisma check comes into play. I'm not sure that the mechanics are known, but you saw him walk into the headquarters of the Iron Throne there and walk back out. And
Thorough investigation.
Yeah, he went in there, he took a look around, he had 18 charisma, and so he is done with his investigation. And so Scar's gonna bring us to Duke Eltan to discuss our very thorough investigation. And Duke Elton's gonna teleport us to Candlekeep because the leaders of the Iron Throne are in Candlekeep, says he. It's a little interesting. This section, I don't know.
Varys, I'm sure you're important.
Yeah, that's the BBEG, Big Bad Evil Guy, for those of you who might not be. All right, and we get accused of murder there and teleported to jail, and then somebody tells us the big bad guy is the big bad guy and teleports us to catacombs. Just teleporting all over the place. All right, so
Framed for murder or something, aren't we here?
yeah, you definitely framed for murder, and we have been murdering, but we didn't murder the people that we were just framed for murder.
Ah, good. Glad.
There's a lot of doppelgangers we're gonna run by Invisible. This is another, we don't want to fight our way out, so we're just gonna run past Invisible. And just like that, chapters 5 and 6 are done. Missed the chapter 5. That was being teleported to Candlekeep, and that's the end of chapter 6. We are in the final chapter.
Chapter 7.
Yeah, we have learned that Saravok is going to be inaugurated as the next Duke, and he's trying to start a war. We want to stop that. We need to get an invite to his inauguration, as well as some evidence that he's a bad guy, because people don't seem to see that he's a bad guy.
All the best criminals leave a paper trail.
So here we're gonna drink those thievery potions because we need to steal a bunch of stuff from this dude. We actually need to steal 2 things. He's got 4 things to steal, and it's just kind of a random order in where they come. So I'm just trying to get 4 pickpocket succeeds. Perfect. So we got our invite. We got some evidence. We're gonna go to the party and confront the big bad evil guy. So it looks like a ball. There's a bunch of nobles. Spoiler alert, they're a bunch of doppelgangers. And so we're gonna set up a fight before they transform. This is where that Wanda monster summoning we got in the tomb comes into play. We're gonna summon a bunch of dudes as meat shields. We're gonna haste them. And then Surly's gonna use the Scroll of Greater Immobilization to lower the saving throws of everything in this room. He's gonna use Slow, it's pretty self-explanatory, and Chaos. What Chaos does is kind of breaks their targeting. We hit a good number of them, that's good.
Yep, 4 of the 6.
They cannot target anything, they might target each other, just kind of sows chaos into the fight. And this is kind of just a chip them down. We're trying to chew through all these doppelgangers that were hiding as nobles. But we don't have a lot of damage. Our summons are only hitting on crits, so there's 5% chance for them to hit. We don't have a lot of damage aside from our wand. There are a couple of friendly NPCs here that we need to keep alive, otherwise it's a game over, and they're going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting in this fight.
Belt is our damage.
Good old belt.
2. I got real scattered on this one. This is going to be a good slow one.
Yeah, so it's a little annoying when they kind of run off screen, because then you gotta go chase them down, and the fight's kind of slow enough as it is. But we're coming up towards the end of the game. This is, at the end of this fight, we're gonna have a pretend fight with the big bad evil guy who's gonna later teleport away, and we're gonna go confront him, so we're coming up right on the end here.
We're wrapping this up. Probably time for another donation or 2.
Sounds good to me. We've got a $100 donation from Hobbs that says, "Hello everyone, Hobbs here. I am a good boy. I saved up my bones to donate to a good cause. Please have a good run, Surly. Get those doppelgangers."
Love it.
anyone wondering, that's the name of my dog. He's in the picture.
Got time for one more?
Absolutely.
All right, I got a $25 donation from Taco Belmont that says, "It's divine that my good friend Elrock617 is running The Simpsons on Thursday the 20th. Good luck with the run, and remember, Lisa needs braces. Dental plan." And we've still got the bid war open to choose the characters. So guys, get those donations in.
Definitely. All right, so you just saw our kind of pseudo fight with the big bad evil guy. He teleported to the thieves' hideout. We're going to teleport there too. Belt's going to get us there. All right, this is where clairvoyance comes into play. You're not supposed to be able to use it in dungeons, but for whatever reason it works here, and it's really great because we have this big thieves maze. It's really annoying to click through, and instead of trying to click through Fog of War and navigate the maze, we're just going to pop the maze open with clairvoyance and let autopathing do the rest for us. So again, Surly is invisible. He's got some protection on for some traps. And we just get to kind of watch him run through this maze, which is hilarious because this is supposed to be a pretty annoying maze to fight through.
Lots of things with high magic resist and lots of damage and traps everywhere. And you gotta go explore over nook and cranny even if you know the path. Like, we have to cover a lot of this maze. Clairvoyance. Lifesaver.
Clairvoyance. And that's good because a lot of our protection stuff lasts just long enough to get out of there even with autopathing, so it was pretty tight with manual clicking. In this building is the final fight, and it's a pretty easy fight, all things considered.
How many items do you need to beat the final boss?
2, I think, if I can count.
Yep.
He's going to go invisible, he's going to cast protection from magic, and there's 4 trap triggers on the skull, which is now covered in spell effects. We're just going to run between 2 of the triggers and trigger traps over and over again, and our protection from magic makes us completely invulnerable, and the big bad evil guy Sarevok is not invulnerable, which is great, so we don't have to find a different way to damage him.
Yeah, so the time's coming up here once we kind of lose our HUD. That is triggered by Sarevok's death. So we're just going to damage him out, because nobody was going to take notice of the invisible dancing bard.
It was a very Bard way to do this fight.
It really is. I don't want conflict. And time. Yeah, so that's Baldur's Gate Legacy of Ball.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Solo run, play on a bard. Can't go wrong. So, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Dritz fight was met at the start of the run. So let me get past all the Seeded Dragon Spear stuff here.
Well, here, oh, there's Timora shine on you.
Get into that.
Not that you'll need it.
So, Dritz. Where do we start? Probably the pronunciation of his name. I don't know it. I call him Dritz. What we have here is just a party of really over-leveled people. And so I am going to show you 2 versions of this. One, because it's hilarious, and then the other one is actually like a straight-up brawling fight. So the first version is going to be the Archer. So the Archer is a subset class of the Ranger. They have extremely good THAC0, which is your chance to hit in this version of D&D. So a -3 on your THAC0 is really, really good, especially for the levels that we're at and the equipment that we have. So with that, we are going to be using some arrows of detonation. Arrows of detonation are great. They have little mini fireballs attached to their tips, and they just blow up, and it's good fun. To handle this, we gave ourselves a little bit of fire resistance so that we can stand in our own fireballs. So top of that, we are going to potion up a little bit. Some of this isn't completely necessary, but we like to go way over the top when it comes to fighting Dritz. He's scary. He is also like a level 9 ranger, and he dual wields. He has, I think, somewhere around like a 0 or -1 THAC0 of his own, and he is immune to magic. He can see through invisibility, and he has a bunch of health. so he's hard to take care of under normal circumstances. So we are going to buff ourselves with Storm Giant Strength, puts our strength to 24, which is going to increase our damage, our Oilless Speed, which also doubles our attack rate as well as our move rate, Mind Focusing, just to give our armor class that little bit of edge on the dexterity there, Potion of Heroism, which is going to help reduce our THAC0 even further, and a Potion of Power, which is, again, just plummeting that THAC0. So I'm going to start drinking some pots here, using that same quick save, quick load that we've seen in the normal run, and this just helps make sure all of the potion effects stay on. And last one, cool. So, this is Dritz. He's got a bunch of gnolls that want to kill him, so we're gonna make sure they get all aggroed. And we're just gonna help him out here, right? Dritz seems like a nice guy, we're gonna help him out. Ooh. Oh my. I killed all the gnolls. Oh. But now, I've made him angry because I hit him with one of my fireballs. So let's see what happens. He's got a couple of spells that are kind of scary. One of them is a mind control thing. We're just going to be the good, fast ranger that we are and just kite him and kill him. So that's easy mode. If you want an easy way to take down Dritz, ranged party, hard to go wrong. You can pump out a lot of damage. The other version of this is going to be with the Berserker. So the Berserker is a subset of the fighter class. I wanted to make a dual-wielding character much in line with what Dritz is. So Dritz is a ranger, we are a Berserker. So I just wanted to have a duke 'em out fight with two dual-wielding classes. So he's going to be using dual-wielding longswords. Same kind of potion layout as before, like almost to a T. Those just elixirs of health. So we have decent armor class, just some fancy plate armor, and then some help with our THAC0 and our damage, and then some just really cool swords, so that we're doing as much damage as possible here. So the key here is to buff ourselves like before, and then Berserkers have an ability known as Berserk. Go figure. So what this does, or Enrage, it gives us additional bonuses to attack, damage, and armor class, and makes us immune to a bunch of stuff. But when it falls off, then we have a bunch of minuses, which is not so good. So the key here is to time when we use our Berserk, so that we can have it on for the whole duration of the fight. So just buffing up like before. It's on. And we might actually need some healing pots, so we put some healing pots on. Okay. So like before, we're going to help Dritz out with these gnolls, because we don't want the gnolls doing any damage to him. That would be rude. We want this to be a one-on-one scenario. Dritz did take a hit. That's a little unfortunate, but it happens.
Looks like you took a hit too. It's pretty fair.
I did. All right. So, Dritz is a nice guy. He doesn't normally want to fight us, so we're just going to be evil here and just stab him in the back. So you'll notice he's hitting me quite a bit more often than I'm hitting him, which is fine. We're hoping, yep, we got really lucky there. Really, really lucky. We had to have crit. Oofta. Yeah. We did really, really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, that fight's usually a lot closer.
A lot closer than that, so. Yeah, there's a bunch more ways. All of these characters that I have over here can fight Dritz. We've got a bard, a cleric, a cavalier. I'm sure there's a bunch more that we could create into. So, something I enjoy toying with and something I enjoy having. Quick final shoutouts. Thanks to Jebedo, Jaseed, and Lintworm for running the game with me, and a bum. You've all kind of helped route it and make it kind of what it is today. Awesome, thank you. Shout out to the Day Knights and the DK30 program. Awesome people. And yeah, Tai,
Hey.
any last words?
Can I jump in real quick to let you know something?
Absolutely.
So I've
Yeah.
been checking with chat, and it seems like they're saying that you got a world record.
I doubt it, but maybe. What did time come
The
in
time was 24:53.
at? It's a world record. Yep.
Congratulations!
That's awesome.
That's
That
stupid
kicks
good.
so much butt.
Love
awesome.
to see it.
Love to
You
see
love
it.
to see it, folks.
Yeah, shout outs to the world record. Shout outs to everybody who's been donating. This is a great cause and a great event.
There's already so much
That's
world
it.
record hype in the chat, but like I need even more than that. I need so much more.
So much more.
Like the whole,
We
like
got
the
it.
world's worth for the world record, you know.
Yeah. Well, Lintworm, you got some work to do again. Sorry. All right, yeah, that's it for us. Good luck on Simpsons. This is going to be a great rest of the marathon. Have fun.
Can we move on?
All right, and thank you so much, Surly. That was truly incredible, world record, and I was here for it. Blowing my mind right now. Guys, I have had so much fun being here. This is my first time hosting for GDQ, and you guys have been so supportive. I know I haven't been perfect, but I'm learning. You're gonna catch me again tomorrow night. I'll be chatting with LimCube during his run of Breath of the Wild. Dog percent, I'm so excited. Well, it's my time to leave. They're showing me the door. So we're gonna just pop on over to a Twitch ad, and when we come back, The Simpsons Arcade!
Hello, everybody. Good morning from the East Coast, US. I'm Pythonicus, and I'll be your host for the next couple of games. I would love to get straight into your donation comments. However, I do believe we have an interview coming up with Yellowkillerbee and LRock617. In fact, we may actually have a moment. So here you go. We got one. We have $50 from Cry for Pride, who says, hello from Germany. Thanks for the last 3 years of speedruns. I was never into speedruns before SGDQ 17, but the 2 weeks are now always highlights for me. I really need to thank the German Let's Player Zombie for his recommendation of the Nier Automata speedrun. And thank you very much, Cry for Pride. It is absolutely one heck of a community we got here in speedrunning, and we're glad to have you. All right, and we are ready to get you over to an interview between Yellowkillerbee and LRock617.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us. You are watching Summer Games Done Quick 2020 Online. I am Yellowkillerbee, and I am joined today by LRock. LRock, thank you so much for being here with me.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, so LRock, you're going to be playing the Simpsons arcade game. That's coming up next. And you are going to be doing any percent this time on the PS3. So as we all know, you are well known in the beat 'em up community for running many of these games at GDQs in the past, but this time you're bringing Simpsons to the forefront, which is really exciting. It's actually one of my favorite arcade games from when I was a kid.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I know I'm looking forward to the run. But I want to know, as someone who has played this game quite a bit casually, how does the speed run differ from a casual playthrough?
Let's see. First answer is enemies die a lot faster. It's very, very important. You got to make sure they're out of there. Honestly, the biggest difference, and the one I have to address the most when people ask me on stream about it, is the fact that I'm not running the version that a lot of people may have grown up with. Like, granted, I talked to a lot of people who play this throughout the United States. This is where I live. And they're used to the version that they would see at their own arcades, and that stands to reason. However, for the speed run, the optimal version of this to run is actually the Japanese version, which in a lot of ways feels like a completely different game. In fact, the same version was run by Makina Ozil 30 at AGDQ 2016, which is the only time this game has been featured previously. So that being the faster version is step one. Step two, from there, it's really just about making sure you know where enemy spawns and having them come to you, and making sure that they die as quick as you can without them just retaliating, which that's honestly the hardest part. Enemy behavior in this game is just crazy. Like, I'll lose time on stuff I've never seen before. It happened a lot this past week when I was practicing. So yeah, that's first and foremost. Play the Japanese version. You can speedrun this game.
Yeah, and hope for no marathon luck. Like, oh no, it's the first time that's happened.
That's commentator's curse right there.
Right, hopefully I didn't jinx you. But yeah, so you talked about how the Japanese version was faster. Is that just because of the text coming up faster?
Not exactly. You can kill bosses a lot quicker because of the fact that you have access to more tools. See, in the JP version of this game, which I believe was released after the US version, you have access to a lot better weaponry to be able to guide your way through the game. You still have all your standard attacks, your ground attacks, your specials, which involve you like hopping off the ground and hitting them, kind of like you do in like old Ninja Turtles arcade games. And in this version of the game, you have access to a considerable amount more of secondary weapons. Think Castlevania, where you get to use things like holy water or axes. In this game, you actually get weapons that you get to actually wield in melee. For example, a broom, which is, the best weapon in any game ever. Like, how could you not want to beat anything with a broom?
Right, or just in real life, broom.
Right. Clean sweeps.
Exactly.
We even got puns for it. So yeah, you get access to a broom and a hammer across different stages, and anytime you have one of those weapons at your disposal, you're just going to do crazy things because they do ridiculous amounts of damage and also allow you to keep hitting the enemy. For example, they do the same amount of damage as you would with like a double button attack, which is in this game it's just called a special, but they don't cause knockdown on bosses, for example. They just allow you to keep hitting them. Whereas like a special on the stage 2 boss would cause him to go into a cycle where he flies away. Here it takes 3 hits to do that, but you're doing the same amount of damage as you would if you do 3 of those.
No,
so it's a lot faster.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And you talked about how different attacks, each character has their own set of attacks, and there's actually a bid war incentive, right, for which character you're going to play. So do you have one character that you're kind of hoping gets picked or that is your favorite?
It's honestly a toss-up. My favorite character in the game is Marge because she was the first character I learned this game with, so I cut my teeth on it with her. She also has a lot of advantages that cater to my play style, and I think she has the easiest final boss fight, which is honestly the biggest detractor from trying to get like a 1 credit clear run, which means I'm trying to finish the game on less than 2 lives. Other outside choice, even though he's the worst character, I would not mind seeing Homer get voted in because Homer is a total meme in this game. He is the worst character. He also has a lot of the iconography that's associated with The Simpsons. He has the classic scream, and everybody loves that. He has like his own quotes in the game. You know, he has dove, he gets hit, and he's just awesome. He has some of the most quotable lines in the game. Like my favorite is still, "Hey, come back here with my kid," where he's screaming at Smithers trying to bring Maggie back, and you can't see that if you don't vote Homer. So
that's right. Yeah.
Probably between those two.
I mean, on one hand, you get going for the meme, and then on the other hand, you're going for, maybe a faster run. But either way, you win, right? So it's a win-win situation. So
I win on a bid war anyway. I don't like picking my character in this game. I prefer other people do it. This isn't my first marathon where I've done the donation incentive, and now people are going to get to do it on like the biggest marathon at SGDQ. So
perfect. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing which one you end up playing. What else should we be watching out for as we watch this run? Is there a part that really stands out that people should be waiting to see?
The part with the saxophones, because I'm just going to be dropping puns on that. If you send a message through it might be a faxophone, that kind of thing. Bring a tea pancakes, that's going to be called the staxophone, that kind of thing. Outside of the saxophone part, probably the bosses. Some of the boss quick kills, honestly, are very impressive. For most of the bosses in this game, you actually will get to fight them with aforementioned weaponry, like your broom and your hammer. But the ones where you don't get to do that actually involve some really strange and rhythmic timing that require you to just be able to execute perfectly, particularly the stage 3 boss and the stage 6 boss, which I'm still working out the kinks for. Like, I still don't understand how exactly that one works, but if we can get like a 1 jumper on cycle 2, like, we're straight up in business. It's going to be super good.
That sounds amazing. So we have boss fights, we have saxophone puns. I mean, what more could you ask for in a run?
It's a video game.
Yeah, it's a video game, exactly. So with that, we have to let Elrock go get ready for his run, which is coming up next. But first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me today.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to bring me in to sit down with you today, Yellowkillerbee.
No problem. Well, thank you so much again. And with that, I'll throw it back to the host.
All right. An excellent interview. Fantastic insight into what you can see next coming up here on SGDQ Online 2020. Of course, the next game in the schedule is the Simpsons arcade game run by Elrock. And we do have that bid war for choosing the character. Currently, Lisa is winning that. So if you would like to sway that at the last moment, now's your choice. Or rather, now's your chance. Excuse me. Speaking of Lisa, we have a $5 donation from Yellsrake, who says, "Good luck, Elrock. Lisa needs braces." Captain